Hey everybody, and welcome to Anticipation. Anticipation. Now, this is a very simple concept to understand in animation. It's very important. It's one of the 12 principles of animation. I'm going to make sure that the drawings I draw are very, very simple. This is a chicken running, and he's from one side of the screen to the other, and he's just going to be running out of the screen. And I want you to know, and I want you to notice that the drawings I'm doing are very simple of this chicken. I mean, you don't get much more simpler than this. This is just so gestural. I'll go in and put a little bit more detail like that. But even so, it is so simple. And this is the way I want you to do it. This is the way you should do it. Very simple. If you're taking the figure drawing class, you'll be seeing how well gestures work in with doing this. So here I am testing the animation, making sure that he's running. I'm doing squash and stretch on his body, just like I am with the ball, because he's stretching forward to run. And I'm being very gestural with the line and being very loose, okay, which is super important. So it's a figure moving from one end to the other. There he is, moving right there from one end to the other. Now, the thing here, the principle of anticipation is before something moves in one direction, it basically moves the opposite way. So you see the line of action is curved one way on the original drawing, and I'm curving the line of action in the opposite way. And so before the chicken runs out of the screen, I'm going to have him go pull a little bit backwards and go the opposite direction of the place he's really going to run. And then I'm going to now have him do some in-betweens and have him run, and this is called a smear animation. See, he's smearing. He's going so fast as he's going into the running position, and now he's running. So there it is now. It's happening really fast. But that is the basic principle. So before you go to the one direction, you go the opposite of the other direction. Okay, so that was a run. Now I'm just giving guidelines of a typical bouncing ball, just to remind you guys to do your guidelines. But in this ball, we're going to turn this ball right there. We're not going to have the ball come bounce out of the screen. Instead, we're just going to turn it into a little animal. I've chosen a frog. You can do a rabbit. It doesn't matter. But again, just something really simple. And this is as simple as you can get, just right there like that. And now notice, before the ball jumps out, it's going back before. So the squash and stretches are all there and everything like that. But before the ball bounces, it's going to go the opposite direction. So from our previous lesson, we have the squash and stretch, and that's all coming into play. But now the ball's going to bounce out. It's going to follow that line right there. And you see, before it does, I'm having it squeeze down, just like I did on the previous ball. And what I'm doing here is I'm just giving it some animation, and I'm giving it some acting. So he's going to almost like push his butt up in the air and kind of wiggle around, getting ready to jump. So imagine that this ball is alive like a frog, and it's going to then start to back up a little bit. Like if you really are going to jump over a river or a small stream or something like that, you'll back up to give us your distance to really jump far so you clear the stream, right? So that's what this ball is doing. It's coming to life, and it's actually going to back up a bit, stick its butt up in the air, and get it as high as it can so that when it jumps, it will have the most amount of energy. So that's what's going on right now, is that this ball is now alive, and it's going to jump up. And before it jumps up, it's going to pull back. So imagine it's like a punch. When you go to punch or hit someone, you don't just put your fist to their face, you pull your fist back, and it goes way back before it connects to the person in front of you that you're punching. So it's the same kind of thing. And by this is I'm giving a little bit of acting. So maybe this isn't the way a frog would act. Maybe it's more like a puppy or yeah, like a little puppy or a rabbit or something like that. Real cute, kind of throwing his butt up in the air and really trying to get the maximum amount of anticipation. And then what's going to happen is it's going to give the jump, when he finally does jump, it's going to be so much more powerful because you have a contrast of shapes and you have a contrast of movement, which is what anticipation is. Instead of just having the ball bounce, because this is alive, this ball is going to have a maximum amount of acting by really, really pushing on this anticipation, okay? So this can be done not just with a ball, but with anything. So here it is and it's moving, and I'm actually going to stretch it out. It's kind of getting kind of liquid-like, and I'm going to stretch it out there, and it has a very odd shape there before it goes into the ball. And then I'm going to erase that ball now because it's stretched, and it's going to go excuse me, right into the stretch shape of the ball. So it's going to slowly find its shape as it's stretching, so you can see it. And this ball will have a lot more life to it. It's going to look much more alive than if I just did it just straight ahead like a regular bouncing ball. It wouldn't look so alive. So let's take a look at it and see how it looks. And see how he's moving back, and then he'll jump up. So it really, all of a sudden now, this is no longer a bouncing ball. This is now some kind of creature that's alive. And this is when we're getting into acting in animation. This is now no longer just timing and spacing, but it's actually acting in animation. It becomes like this little creature that has life and energy of its own. And it's not just a ball just bouncing and soon is going to come to a stop. This creature could keep on jumping indefinitely because he has energy and strength in his own body. So anticipation is going the opposite direction, just slightly, before you go the direction that you intend on going, okay? Okay, so now let's see anticipation, what that looks like on a cartoon take. So on this set of drawings, we have 1, the neutral position, 2, the anticipation, that one right there, and 3, the reaction. And that's what they look like, all of them together, like that. You see? So it's 1, 2, and 3. 1, the neutral position, which is that one right there, the anticipation. And you can see that it's squashing down. So it's going the opposite direction of the way it's going to end up, because it's going to end up stretching. So there's the anticipation, and you see it's squashing down, and there's the reaction. Now the reaction is totally a contrast. If you look at the way the circle is, one is squashing, one is stretching. So you see that same principle in the bouncing ball. That's why the bouncing ball is so important. And there it is, just without the squash and stretch. You can see if I take out the anticipation, it doesn't have that same strength that it would have all 3 drawings. If you just have the neutral and the reaction, it's not as strong. Okay, so let's go on to another example. And you see I'm doing things as simple as possible. These drawings are super, super simple drawings, just to show you that you don't have to. In fact, I don't want you to do an elaborate drawing. This is a simple drawing for me. It's a duck, but I'm not necessarily looking for you guys to do a elaborate drawing. But I want you to see even in this animation, it's a very, very simple drawing. Because what you're going to do is you're going to do an incredible number 1 drawing, and then you're going to get really discouraged and not want to finish it all the way through. By the way, I'm just doing the key poses here. There'll be a lot of in-betweens. Okay, so here we go. This is, I did 1 drawing. That was the neutral position of the duck standing. This is the reaction. He saw something, or he wanted to do something. He wanted to fly, and now he's flying. His reaction is that he is actually flying. So right now there's just 2 drawings, the neutral drawing and the reaction drawing. So to strengthen this pose, to strengthen the animation, I'm going to have to add an anticipation. So there it is. There's the animation right there. And that's what it looks like. It's flying. It's a duck standing going to a duck flying. And that's fine. Nothing that exciting. And remember, green is the drawing before and red is the drawing after. So first there's the line of action, and I'm going to just do the opposite line of action for my anticipation drawing. This is the second drawing. It's called the in-between drawing between 1 and 3, right? This is number 2. So in this one, his body is contrasting with the neutral drawing, and he's bending down. He's going the opposite direction, and his wings are folding out the opposite directions of the third drawing, where his wings have gone up to fly. Right here, they're folding down because it's going to give a maximum amount of contrast, which is what you're trying to go. Now, this drawing's a little bit more complicated, but even the tail feather is going down in contrast to the number 1 and 3 drawing. So here's number 1, the neutral drawing, okay? And I'll put just a little bit more detail on it, just to have a little bit of fun with it. Not too much. But remember, I'm not concerned at all of what your drawings will look like at this point. And then here he is with the anticipation drawing. And in this anticipation, he is anticipating flying up. And he's going to go into the air, but before he goes into the air, he's going to double back and grab all like a spring. When you get a spring, he's going to bunch up all of that energy together like a ball before he stretches out and shoots out. And I could probably even exaggerate that and go even further with that. So I hope you're getting an idea of what this anticipation is. You're anticipating the next move. That's the anticipation drawing right there. See that? So it just is going to strengthen your action, that whatever action you're going to do, that anticipation drawing is super, super important. All right, so you've got the neutral drawing, number 1. Number 2, the anticipation drawing. And then number 3 is the flying drawing, the action drawing or reaction drawing. Okay? So you're going to pick something, anything, and you're going to have your own neutral, anticipation, and then reaction. Okay, here's another one. Again, look at that character. It's so simple, right? It's like a child's drawing. There's the anticipation, and there's the action. So the anticipation really reads really well because it goes perfectly in between that neutral drawing of him standing and then jumping up. It's also natural. It's the way things move, to be honest. It really is. Any creature that is about to do an action will usually crouch back like a lion that's about to attack, or a frog that's going to jump, or anything. It will crouch down and get more energy. Now here's the last and final one. Here's another cartoon take, and this one I put some acting and some fun into it. And there is number 3, the third drawing. I've skipped the anticipation and showed you there he is reacting, okay? So the first one was a neutral, and then he saw something shocking, and he's reacting to it. He's like, ah, okay? So there's neutral and then reaction, and you can see it's a strong animation. But now I'm going to put in the anticipation, and with this is like a crazy kind of wacky anticipation, like whoa, like I can't believe it, like he's going down. Usually in this anticipation, the eyes will be scrunched in together. So there he is, just all reacting, and he goes into that. Now this is a really strong anticipation, and it's almost like a key pose, but it kind of gives it a little bit of fun because it just makes it pop. And this is showing you that you can have a lot of fun with your key poses and with your anticipation. I mean, you can really you can let your imagination go wild. Now, yes, this is a little bit more complicated drawing, but if you think like, oh my gosh, I gotta draw, and also I'm not doing any of the in-betweens, right? I mean, this whole animation is just a very simple, you'd have to go in and do the in-betweens. So keep your drawings really, really simple. Keep them gestural, keep them loose and messy, and have fun with it. And this is anticipation. And I hope I've laid it out very clearly. 1 is the neutral pose, 2 is the anticipation pose, and the third one is the reaction or action pose. So again, hope you got it, and I can't wait to see your work.